Welcome to the special meeting of the City Council, being called to order at 3:06 on October 25. Let's have roll call, please.
Council members Asatryan,
Here.
Brotman,
Here.
Divine,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Mayor Kasakian.
Here, and may we have your report?
The agenda for Tuesday, October 25th, 2022 special public meeting of the City Council was posted on Wednesday, October 19th, 2022 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And what is before us?
Public Works regarding citywide bicycle detection technology, a motion authorizing the installation of standard video detection system at intersections without bicycle detection and directing staff to pursue funding at the next grant cycle opportunity for additional installations.
Mr. Galanian?
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor Kasakian, member of City Council. This item is brought to you in response to Councilmember Brotman's request regarding the status, a report on the status of installation of bicycle detection systems throughout the city. I'm going to turn it over to Pastor Casanova, our principal traffic engineer who has done the research. He will cover various types of technologies that are available and that's been in use, and seek direction on council moving forward, and so that we authorize us to move forward with, as well as seeking and applying for grants that could pay for the cost of these installations. Mr. Casanova.
Thank you, Mr. Galanian. Mayor Kasakian and members of the City Council, today I will be providing a brief presentation regarding bicycle detection citywide. So what is bicycle detection? Bicycle detection is the ability for traffic signals to detect and react when bicyclists arrive at an intersection and provide the traffic signal sequencing to allow the bicyclist to cross the intersection safely. This detection and sequencing process, it's not clicking. Okay. This detection and sequencing process allows for increased bicycle safety, reduces delay for bicyclists, and discourages red light running through the intersections. Detection can also extend the green light for bicyclists as they traverse the intersections and further contribute to the safety aspect. Newer devices such as video detection offer the capabilities to also connect the video feed to the city's traffic management center and provide video for traffic incident management. Here are a few examples of different types of bicycle detection. Inductive loop detectors are physically saw cut into the pavement. They create a magnetic field that is used to detect metallic objects that stand on them or across them. Bicycle push buttons are a detection device that are physically actuated by bicyclists and tend to work best for dedicated bike paths that terminate at intersections or curb-running bike lanes. Microwave detection are mounted on traffic signal poles and emanate microwave radar, if you want to call it, and they're unable to differentiate between traffic lanes. Video detection cameras are camera devices that are mounted on the traffic signal pole mast arms and face approaching traffic. A key characteristic is that their detection zones can be configured and based on need, and they can also differentiate between the traffic lanes. Here's an example of a inductive loop ground bicycle detector, and some of the pros or advantages of this type of detection is that it is cost effective. The majority of the costs are associated with labor, very minimal material cost, and they can also be used for both vehicles and bicycles. On the picture, we see the traverse lines in the circle, and this particular loop is for bicycle detection. Some of the disadvantages are that they are susceptible to pavement damage. So if there's deformities in the pavement or there's construction activity near the intersection, they can potentially damage these detectors. Also, when the installations occur, they require lane closures to do the installations. And one of the key factors also of this type of detector is that, and particularly important nowadays, is that they are unable to detect non-metallic devices. So we know nowadays we have a lot of bicycles that are made out of carbon fiber. And these detectors also, over time, require substantial maintenance as they lose their sensitivity. Here's an example of a bicycle push button, some of the pros and the cons. They can be installed at an intersection. However, they do have some difficulty sometimes for the pedestrians to reach them or to place them in a location where they are reachable by the bicyclists. I apologize, I said pedestrians. And additionally, this type of actuation does not provide an extension of the green time if a bicyclist is approaching an intersection on a green. This is an example of microwave detection, where relatively easy to install on a traffic signal pole, and it emanates the microwave signals. However, the microwave signals are unable to differentiate specific zones and areas, so they can't tell which traffic lane a vehicle is in, and it cannot differentiate between the type of vehicle, say vehicle or bicycle. They are also susceptible to interference from large steel structures. They could even be nearby poles, as well as very difficult to troubleshoot when they're installed. Here's an example of standard video detection, and they tend to have a high accuracy range. They're also able to detect both vehicles and bicycles, whether the bicycle is metallic or not. And the newer systems can also differentiate not only between vehicles and bicycles, but also pedestrians. They're relatively easy to troubleshoot, and the detection zones can be configured such as you would configure your Ring camera at home or one of your detection devices. They can be configured to each traffic lane, so you can differentiate between the traffic lanes on the approach. The only con that there is to this system is that in certain situations, if there's a physical obstruction, say a hillside in the way, then that needs to be taken into consideration in the design. This is an example of a Vantage Next system, or the newer generation of video detection. They have the similar and same features as the standard video detection, except that they add additional features such as data analytics that provide additional graphs, charts, and information for engineers to be able to evaluate the performance of the system, as well as data from the system. The only real con to this type of new generation video detection is the higher cost. This is a summary inventory of the types of detection at the city's 243 signalized intersections. As we can see, 178 are currently running the video detection systems, with 168 of them using the standard video detection and 10 of them using the newer Vantage Next system. These 10 locations for the new Vantage Next system were installed as part of a grant-funded project, and staff is currently evaluating the benefits and the uses of this newer system and the new data and analytics that are provided. Some of the locations that we see also here have both video and vehicle detection, and the ground loops. So video and the ground loops, and of the locations, we see that 143 of the locations use the older ground loop detection, and 34 of those 143 have the capability of detecting bicycles. However, because of the superior capabilities and benefits that we see from the video detection, including being able to detect bicycles regardless if they are made out of metal or not, and not being susceptible to pavement damage, we are recommending to upgrade the older in-ground loop locations that we see here with the video detection, with the standard video detection. So we see that video detection has superior capabilities and benefits, and most signalized intersections in the city currently have been upgraded to the standard video detection. Therefore, we are here today to recommend to City Council to authorize staff to install standard video detection systems as identified as option 2 at the remainder of the intersections in the city that currently do not have bicycle detection, and of course, depending on funding availability. Staff has prepared this order of magnitude estimate of the anticipated cost to install the standard video detection for the remaining signalized intersections in the city, and these costs are $300,000 for design and construction management, $2.1 million for construction, for a total of $2.4 million. Should the City Council authorize staff to proceed accordingly as requested, the implementation process can be initiated by firstly identifying locations with and without bicycle detection along the designated bicycle corridors outlined in the bicycle transportation plan, and then prioritizing the installation of the standard video detection first at locations where the existing underground conduits can accept the new video cables without replacement. These would be called the so-called low-hanging fruit that we could move forward with, and then proceed to the remainder of the locations that would require heavier construction and replacement of the underground conduit. And at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, who from my colleagues has questions or comments? Councilmember Brotman, go ahead.
One clarifying question, and then if there are no other questions, I have comments. But, so there are 243 signalized intersections. How many of them have neither the loop detector or the video detection? They have nothing.
All intersections have some sort of detection.
For bicycles?
Oh, I'm sorry. For
No, I'm saying, how many of the 243 will not detect a bicycle when it's there?
There's several intersections that have a combination of both.
Right.
But of the ones that have bicycle detectors, 109 there are 109 locations that currently have ground detectors
Right.
that cannot detect bicycles.
And do they have video? I'm trying to see how many have neither the video nor the loop that will detect bicycles. In other words, how many will I just, if I'm on a bike, will I just sit there forever until a car comes up?
Yes, Councilman Brotman, staff would have to go back and look at those numbers in detail and follow
Okay,
up
'cause
with
that's
council.
what I asked you yesterday in the
Councilmember
briefing.
Brotman, if I may, and good afternoon, Mayor Kasakian and members of City Council. So we have 168 standard video plus 178. So out of the 243, that leaves about 65 or so that we are recommending upgrading to the new system. So roughly, I would say, even though some of these do have the in-ground loops, we don't know their accuracy. You know, some of them, they could have been in the ground for a while and, as Mr. Casanova mentioned, not be able to detect bicycles. So to be safe, we're recommending the upgrade of these 65.
Okay, because there are a lot of intersections, maybe they have it and I don't see the marking on the pavement. So there are a lot of intersections where I would arrive at the intersection, I don't see any marking. And my experience is, I'll wait there for a while, and if no car comes, the light will go through a phase and it won't give me, it'll give pedestrians a walk, but it won't give me a green, to the point where I'm like, what am I gonna do? I run the red light, right? So I just kind of wanted to get a sense, but if you don't have it, you'll, maybe give it to me later. I wanted to get a sense of how many of our 243 intersections are of that type, that there is no, either there's no detection, or I don't know that there's no detection because there's no marking on the pavement telling me there's a detection. Because bottom line, that's what we want to do. We want to encourage people to ride, and we want to encourage them not to run the red lights. But when you get there and you don't know how long you're going to be waiting, your choices are get off your bike, put up the kickstand or whatever, go over to the pedestrian button and push it, which nobody's going to do, right? Or wait for a car to come, which could be a long time, or run it. And that's what we want to try to avoid. But as far as my comments go, I like how you've laid out the prioritization. I know this is expensive, so let's look for grant funding. So I support what you're proposing. I guess I'm just kind of giving a little bit of my perspective, being someone that experiences this day in and day out.
Points well made and taken. Who else has questions? Mr. Casanova? Any of my colleagues? Councilmember Asatryan? No? Okay. What about comments? All right. There are no comments. Would anyone like to make, yes, Councilmember Devine.
Now, the bike master plan is how old?
The latest edition was adopted in 2012.
Okay. So when we talk about prioritizing what we're installing, because I think that maybe some places we could use, well, I think all places should have the video, definitely. I think the loop underground seems like a waste to me. I don't know. When should we give you time, or do we have plans for the bike transportation plan to be updated? We do, don't we?
Yes, Mayor Kasaki, member of the City Council, Councilmember Devine, our Community Development Department, in conjunction with Public Works, are working on that plan. As you may recall, we came in front of council a couple of weeks ago, got approval for the outreach. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's in the works, it's in progress.
Okay, good. So then when we get this revised bike transportation plan, then we can look at intersections and what they need, and make sure that that we have priorities, so that if we get grant funding, we have enough to at least do our priorities locations. But I think this is a good plan, and I think we should go ahead with the projects, or the institution of this plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
So can I move the item?
And I'll second it.
Supporting the recommendation of staff.
All right, it's been a motion and a second, and I'd just like to say that I think this is a very important step in the right direction. I think the cameras also would be my preference wherever we're able to do them, in part because of the ability to track information that crosses all types of mobility, not just bicycles, automobiles. You can track pedestrians, and what I liked hearing. I know that's slightly more expensive, but we'll try to turn over some cushions and ask friends in Sacramento or Washington, see what we can do to make sure that we get funds necessary to see this in as many places as possible. May we have roll call, please? There are no, by the way, callers or cards submitted on this item.
Okay. Council members Asatryan,
Yes.
Brotman,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Mayor Kasakian.
Yes, thank you. There are no other items for this special meeting, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. We stand adjourned. We'll give it a few minutes until we can bring up the banner for the council meeting. Call it to order. All right. May we have roll call for the city council?
Yes. Council members Asatryan? Here. Brotman?
Here.
Divine?
Here.
Najarian?
Here.
Mayor Kasakian.
Thank you. And will you please read the closed session items into the record?
Yes. Item A, conference with legal counsel pending litigation, Dickinson versus Izadi et al., LASC case number 21STCV08281. B, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure litigation pursuant to paragraph subdivisions D2 and E2 of section 54956.9, one potential case. C, conference with real property negotiators, property location, real property generally located at the terminus of New York Avenue near Park Vista Drive, commonly referred to as Mountain Oaks. Negotiating parties, FENM Inc., employees, defined contribution plan trust dated July 10, 1984. Agency negotiators attending the closed session are Rube Kolanyan, John Takhtalian, Michael J. Garcia, Jillian Van Meiden, Bradley Calvert, Jason Bradford, and Onik Bulanikian. Instructions to the negotiators will concern the price and terms for the acquisition of property. D, conference with legal counsel pending litigation, FENM Inc., employees, defined contribution plan trust, dated July 10, 1984 versus City of Glendale et al., LASC, case number BS 16989. E, conference with legal counsel pending litigation, claim of Berman, claim number 22-0178.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. City Attorney, do we anticipate reporting out on any of these items?
Mr. Mayor, we anticipate reporting on item 1E, and in addition, I would note for the record that the facts and circumstances that give rise to the need for have a closed session on item 1B are a potential threat of litigation regarding compliance with the California Voting Rights Act.
Thank you. And with that, we will recess to closed session to return in the evening. Thank you.